Welcome back, everybody. Lancescurv of Lancescurvx.com here. I'm so glad you're here with me. I'm so glad you're here to kind of enjoy the thoughts that I put out. Not that my thoughts are any better than anybody else's, but I'm just willing to put them out there. I had a lot of realizations today when I was out and about, and I really was out and about. I was actually going to treat myself and go to the beach, right? But I said, got a little later, and I said, you know what? This is going to have me coming back later. Matter of fact, if I went out there like really late, I'd probably end up staying out there all night. Imagine the footage that we can get. But anyway, I was deep in thought. Check this out. Let's get into this way. Imagine walking into a room full of people. Everyone is laughing, talking, and living as if nothing is wrong. But then you notice something that they cannot. Everybody around you is blind to it. See, you see the hidden patterns in their behavior, the motives behind the words, and the truths buried beneath the surface. That moment changes everything. With me, and there's several examples, you get around folks that may think that you're going to be around them or you're some kind of group, and you just never gravitate around them. And they try to badmouth you because it's not mandatory that you group up with them, but they know that you can see through them, and it bothers them because they feel very uneasy around you because they know they're rotten. Not to pass judgment, but look, we have rotten people out there, right? And they'll try to beat you to the punch to smear your character because they know that you know what they're all about. It's almost like the old show, The Honeymooners. I know that you know that I know that you know that I know. Ralph Cramden, Jackie Gleason. But it's true. They can sense a person that can see through them. And they don't like it. They can fool most of the people. Hey, look, you didn't even say anything about them. You just avoid them like the plague. And they realize this, like, they never come around me, or they don't want to be around my group because it's a waste of time. You're not a friend or group of friends. And it's not that I hate you, but there's nothing positive coming out of a union with you because eventually you're going to tear me down anyway. So just tear me down and call me a weirdo, a creep, or antisocial. You see what I mean? When you see things so clear around you, in people around you who are either setting you up to scheme you over, use you, or try to destroy you because they just don't like your trajectory. They see your positive energy, your strong drive, your goals, and it's like, I'm gonna fix them down the line. Because they don't have anything of their own. They can have $1 million, but they feel rotten about themselves. And when you can see these things in people, trust me, and you'll always trust your gut. Now you have to agree with me on this, and I'm going to tell it like this. Remember the times when you didn't trust your gut feeling? You didn't trust that gift of discernment, and it backfired on you down the line? And you said, I knew it. I should have just stayed away from these people. Me? I don't deny it. I don't ignore it. I just stay away from those people. I don't care what they think. And they'll call you evil. They'll call you the gossip. But how could you say these things? You haven't been around me. That's the ultimate truth. They will say these things and they haven't even seen you in years. You can be right up on them and they just don't see you or hear you. Freaks them out. But some people go through life blind to what is right in front of them. Others, however, are given eyes to see what most refuse to face. See? But that sight is not always a blessing. It can come as a burden. To see reality clearly often means to stand apart and sometimes to stand alone. When you see reality clearly, you're going to stand alone. You can be in a dysfunctional family. You can be around dysfunctional in-laws. You can be around dysfunctional neighbors, community, whatever. Now, I'm not saying it's like, oh, I am perfect and everybody else is dysfunctional. We're all dysfunctional to a degree. We are. But the bottom line is when you can cut through that and see it for what it is. Let's take the example of a person who marries into a dysfunctional family, whether it's the male or the female. The family's pretty cool. You might know that there's little things going on amongst them, but that's their stuff and that's been around for years. But when you marry somebody, you marry into a family. You marry into a set of energies that will pull on your life, whether you like it or not, even if it's not so direct looking. You see what I mean? You may have a spouse that has a child that's a chronic problem, but they want to put it out there to the world that this child is perfect. But they're putting out babies left and right with every Tom, Dick, and Harry and getting arrested, DUIs and all kind of stuff, mugshots popping up on the internet, but everything is okay. And if you don't agree with that narrative, oh man, hell to pay, because you have to keep the illusion going. You see? They can be in your family, they can be in in-laws, they can be neighbors, they can be whatever. And when you see, simply seeing it, even when, like me, I'll see it and not say anything about it. But just folks knowing, they just know you know the dirty little secrets. And you're the criminal for pointing it out. You're the criminal for seeing it. You're the new addition into the soup. Whether you're dating or courting or engaged, or you can see these people's families for what it is. Like, wait a second, don't say anything thinking the person that you're involved with will understand. Oh no, they have to keep it going too, and they've been doing it for years. So anything that you say to break the illusion, you become the enemy to them, and they're gonna come against you. You don't understand this. Their allegiance is to keeping that facade going, right? Listen, I love my mother. She passed away April 28th, 1994. She was, and we all think our mothers are perfect, right? But she really was perfect and loving in every single way. But she had a weak spot for my brother. Smart, college educated, charismatic, but drugs all his life. And she hoped for the best for him. She did the best for him. But he just fell short of the mark time and time again. But when she realized what he was and how he was just stringing her along in the hopes that he was getting better and he's going to do it this time and no, he didn't want to. When she realized this is what took her off the face of the earth. And I'm brutally honest with that. You see, so many of us just don't want to see. That's why we'll never become the person we're supposed to become, because we don't want to pull the cobwebs away, right? But for the Black community, this truth carries even more weight. To see beyond illusions, beyond the systems that have trapped us, is dangerous. Yet it is also necessary, very much necessary. And without it, we remain stuck in cycles that weaken us as a people. With it, we can break free, but only if we are strong enough to handle the cost. Because there's a cost to being able to see situations clearly. It's not going to make you the most popular person, but you can't deny what you see, and you have to move in your truth. And remember, this is not about being smarter or better than others. It's about awakening. It's about refusing to live in denial. It's about carrying the responsibility of vision in a world that thrives on distraction and deception. Don't you realize that? Really and truly, the world is not built on truth. The world is built on distraction and deception and illusion. You see? Illusion. We go to the movies and sit down in a chair and look at a screen, which is really a blank wall, a blank thing hanging so you can just watch. And the illusion, the effects, the plays, the movies, the special effects, the horror movies. We want to be deceived. A lot of us don't want the real world. I mean, it's nice to be entertained every now and then, but most of us don't want reality. Reality is too painful. It's too painful for what we see in others because of their illusions they put out. We don't want to see our mother a certain way. We don't want to see our father a certain way. Not in my case, but I'm just saying, imagine the people who find out that their mother was a prostitute for many years. They don't want to hear that. They only want to hear this illusion and this so-called good thing. But they don't want reality. Imagine, maybe the parents didn't work out and the father was a philanderer, or maybe he had a double life. He was gay, down low brother. Who wants to hear that? Who wants to hear that their folks are crackheads? Who wants to hear that? We want illusion. We'll hold on to the little things that we can blind ourselves with. When we peel back the layers, like the title says, truth comes only when the shadows of denial are faced. But the cost, if we're strong enough, right? But it's about that awakening. You got to walk through the pain, the isolation, the danger, and ultimately the power of seeing what others cannot. This is a journey of self-awareness, truth, and transformation. And for our people, it is one of the most urgent journeys of all. But it's a journey that many of us do not want to take. It's too painful. When you realize you've been living in a false reality, a reality of denial, right? When you can see truths that others avoid, you become a threat to their comfort. Now, I'm not trying to be like our friend who repeats things 3 times, but I'm going to say it one more time. The most I'll do is 2 times. I'm going to say it again. When you see truths that others avoid, you become a threat to their comfort. Comfort? Yeah. There's comfort in denial, but you don't want to see what's behind that denial. And if you see what they're trying to avoid, it makes the people very uncomfortable. People hold on to their beliefs for survival, even if those beliefs are lies. You see? Even if they're lies. To question those lies is like shaking the ground beneath their feet. This is why when you are the way you are as a truth teller or one who sees the truth, even just seeing it is enough to shake the ground beneath their feet. This is why those who speak truth often face resistance, denial, and even hostility. Go to a family gathering when you know somebody's deep, dark secret. You're not even talking about it, but your mere presence upsets them. Imagine being around a family, whether it's the family down the block or your in-laws or your own family, and you simply know something. You saw something. You didn't repeat it. You didn't say anything about it. You didn't ask anybody about it, but you found out a dirty family little secret. And just from you knowing this, you're the enemy. They would like to bring it up to see how much of it you know, but they don't want to do that because they're afraid of how much you know. So your very presence alone, knowing the family secret, I'm just saying the family secret as an example. It could be any secret, right? You as a woman could have a fiance, boyfriend, partner, come into a relationship. You did some things in the past you never told them before, right? And you have a friend that comes back to tell you, oh, I ran into your boyfriend, I ran into your fiance or whatever have you. And I asked him, how do you feel about being with you, the girlfriend, right? And it's the girlfriend telling, this is the fiance, the female, getting told by her friend who ran into her boyfriend, right? So you don't have a problem with the fact that she was always gay and you're the second male relationship? Now, you might not have told him that, but his answer to her let you know that he knew about it all the time. I'm not throwing off any kind of lifestyle. I'm just saying it is what it is. We keep secrets. That's the worst part of it, keeping a secret. Now you know that your man knows that you've been a lesbian all your life. I'm not condemning you, only condemning the lie. Whatever you do, whatever you are, be straight up about it. Come out the closet with it, no matter what it is, even if it's not some gay stuff. Now you feel funny laying next to him in the bed that night. You don't know how to approach it. And you find ways to be angry at him because how the hell did you know my dirty little secrets? It's horrible. It's horrible. See, to see deeper is to walk a lonelier road. The more your awareness grows, the greater the distance from the crowd. Family, friends, or community may not understand. They may laugh, dismiss, or even reject you. But within that loneliness lies an opportunity to build inner strength and resilience that others cannot touch. That's the beauty of it. Yeah. They'll laugh, they'll dismiss, they'll reject you, they'll try to shame you, they'll try to smear your character. But within that loneliness lies an opportunity to build inner strength and resilience that those same people and others cannot touch. That's a beautiful thing. I know about that. That's why I'm stronger than ever before. I can see more than ever before. I can see certain energies. It's like a fighter who came up the right way, who had a trainer who allowed that fighter to fight many styles of fighters in boxing. Sugar Ray Leonard, his trainer, Angelo Dundee, did it for him. Angelo Dundee also trained Muhammad Ali. But when Sugar Ray Leonard came out of the Olympics in 1976, Angelo Dundee methodically had him fight so many different unique styles so that by the time he was at the top of the rankings and ready to get a title shot, there's no fighter that can surprise him with a style that he has not already faced. He started out a little easier and built it up. They had him fight those guys who were so fast but didn't punch hard. He fought those guys that punched real hard but didn't have as much boxing ability. And as you raise it up, you're going to have guys that can punch hard, they're fast, they're good with defense, have great IQ, but you can't throw a prospect, freshly turned professional, on into that level of fighter. You got to bring it up slowly but surely. You see what I mean? So it's really something. With people, with you being a seer, and all the unique positions that it can put you in. Most people, they live by scripts handed down by family, school, society, whatever it may be. They follow routines without question. See? What's your religion? I'm a Christian. Did you decide to be one? Well, I was raised in a Christian household. It was handed to you. Oh, I'm an atheist. Maybe your father, mother, they didn't believe in spirituality. A Muslim, Jew, whatever it is. I'm a Buddhist. Most of the time, from the West, when you hear somebody say that, it's because they broke away and they became that on their own. But whatever, most stuff is handed to us. Our rhythms, our likes, dislikes, our idiosyncrasies, our hang-ups, pretty much it can be traced down through the family bloodline. And it's a script. So to awaken from that script is unsettling. It feels like pulling back a curtain and realizing the world you trusted was only a play. Once you see behind the curtain, you cannot pretend you do not know. What a painful thing. When you lived in a closed environment, of course I have to say family because that's your first experience. And if you didn't have family and you grew up in a foster home, well, that was your family. Whoever took care of you, whether they took care of you good or didn't do a good job, whether you were violated sexually or abused physically or abused mentally and emotionally, those are scripts handed off to you, and you carry those for the rest of your life. And even though you can consciously know that, well, this is not good, I need to purge myself of this, I need to get therapy, I need to be clean from this, it can still linger on and affect your relationships. And when you get with a partner, you're damaged from the things of the past that you didn't take care of, and it's going to affect your present. That's why I always recommend when you get with somebody, try to find out what their upbringing was like. And if you can, get around the people that raised this potential mate. It will tell you a lot on an unspoken level. You don't really have to mince words. You just watch. I've seen families, whether it's a dating thing or not, just families, like friends, you go around and the mother will see the father when the father comes home and, hey, how you doing? Or the children will come home and they don't even hug their mother or the father, or no sign of affection. Just nothing. The older ones will see their brothers and sisters. They're grown now, so they haven't seen their brother or sister for months because, they may live in different cities, and they don't hug. Or if they do, it's just some quick, mandatory, just to say I did, but I'm not feeling it type thing. Well, what do you think you're going to get when you're getting with somebody who was raised in a household where there's no affection? Huh? No affection, no love, no holding, no caring, so their love language is going to be something so completely different than what you're used to. You're going to be in torture. And they're going to look at you like you're crazy. You see? Scripts that were handed down. Isn't that something? Pointing out hidden truths, whether about injustice, hypocrisy, or corruption. In these situations with people who are in denial, it brings heavy consequences. Many people would rather live with lies than face reality. This is why truth tellers are often punished. Yet without them, change never comes. But most people feel like it's opening up a wound, and really it is. But it's necessary. If you break your leg and don't get the bone set right, you're going to be walking crooked for the rest of your life. So you're going to have to re-break that leg and put it and set it in place so it heals right. Most of us on some level, mental, spiritual, physically, emotionally, have been broken and never acknowledged the break, even though we know we're in pain and it's set the way it wanted to set. And most of the time it's set wrong. We're going to have to re-break that bone, that emotional bone, that spiritual bone, that mental bone, that physical bone, so we can be able to be right, especially when we take on a partner. How you gonna walk the runway of life and both the bones in your leg have been broken and it just was allowed to set any kind of way? You walking all kind of, one leg is bow, one leg is the other way, you're walking crooked. And then you get mad when somebody points out the truth that you're walking crooked because you don't want to break that bone again. How about that? We can act like we're walking straight. When the lie comes out, when the truth comes out, and the lie is exposed, we want to get mad at the one who's speaking true. Listen, sweetheart, you're going to have to get those, reset those bones. And you've been walking like this for decades. And everybody else like you who has their wounds and their broken bones on any level, you all get along just fine, all effed up. I'm going to say it that way. Y'all are effed up and y'all are walking around pretending that everything is all right. It don't work that way. That's why for many of us, life is just painful. The illusion is what we want. And the illusion is like covering ourselves up in the bed at night. When you watch the horror movie about an hour or two before you went to bed as a kid, and now there's a blazer or a jacket or a shirt hanging up on the door, on the coat hanger, and it's on the door, and you think it's some headless man coming to haunt you. So your denial is like taking those covers and covering your head up. If there's something really there, just because you cover your head up, does it make it go away? The pain and trauma you've gone through that's affecting your relationships, does it go away when you just pretend that it's not there? The dysfunctional family you're in, does it go away when everybody's doing all right and everybody has great jobs and everybody has this, but there's some crazy stuff going on beneath the surface? That's because most of us pretend because we don't want to see. We don't want to see what it is. We don't. And so we restrict our ability to live a full life because of that. You see? See, every community has a shadow. The fears, denials, and secrets buried beneath the surface. When someone calls it out, people resist because it forces them to confront what they hide. But real growth only comes when the shadow is faced. If we as a people refuse to face our own shadows, we remain trapped. See? Vision, yes, can isolate you, but know that it can also transform you. The very pain of being set apart can become the soil where true wisdom and strength can grow. Those who endure the burden of vision often rise as leaders, healers, and guides. Their suffering turns into light for others. Don't you know the best people to get advice from are the ones who've been through the most crap and had to come out of it and heal from it and see it for what it is? They don't have to have a degree from college or school or some certification. That old grandmother who been through stuff all her life and survived always has a wise word for you when you go visit her. And lots of times when you're coming near her, she can feel what it is that you need and start talking to you. And you're like, listen, somebody tell her what I'm going through. She can see it, not just because of the physical, it's the aura, it's the energy. It's like what I learned when I came out here to the motherland. There are many of the real healers. If you have a problem physically that people in your family, you're suffering somehow, and they really don't know what it is. And you've been living there for a good long time. It's not like you rented a place last month. This ain't gonna work. They're gonna find out, how long have you been living here? You've been living here 25 years, okay. So the doctor comes down and puts his little bag down next to the potential patient and goes outside. Folks say, what did he go outside for? We got a bathroom, what did he go outside to take a leak? And you see him walking around the house looking at the plants that are growing. So what the hell is he doing? He trying to do something in the garden? We didn't call him to come here and do anything in the garden. No. See, in nature provides you with the cure, whether you know it or not, for anything you're going through. And we're going to take this deeper. See, this is the way it works. When you're sick with an ailment, nature brings you the cure. Nature makes sure the plants that you need to consume are right around where you live, and it tells the doctor exactly what it is that's wrong with you because of what grows. So to take it on a deeper level, when you have an issue of denial and you don't want to see the truth, the Creator is going to always make sure somebody crosses paths with you that you can't rant and rave and deny. You have to listen to it. And you're like, this person came at me with something tailor-made, and I never talked to this person. I might have known them, but they just busted out and said something. They don't know my business, but they just told me the answer right there on what I need to do to get over this thing. To pull back the curtains, to reject the script that was given to me. You see? Yeah. Like we said, those who endure the burden of vision often rise as leaders, healers, and guides. Huh? See, seeing what others could not is not about ego. It's not about feeling superior. It's very much a responsibility. The vision is given to guide, not to destroy or not to punish. See, many people are gifted with abilities and ego jumps in and they want to stand on their high horse, they want to stand on the soapbox, and they want to whip you with it. It's like going to certain churches and you have certain preachers that they may know the word of so-called God. I'm not saying so-called God, the so-called word of God that's been tampered. Excuse me, I didn't mean to say the so-called God. There is a God. Call him different things, but it's a creator. And he feels he's got a good congregation. All the pretty girls sitting in the front row with them pretty legs he's looking at. You know, he's not just thinking about getting between them pages of the Bible. He's trying to get himself between something else. His ego is on full blast. And he feels he can punish you, belittle you with the word when he knows that you have a dilemma. If you don't bow down to him, that's not right. It's a responsibility. It must be carried with humility, patience, and courage. The true test is not whether you see, it is what you do with what you see. You got a job to do. It's a responsibility, because that seeing really can be snatched away. See, the greatest danger is not rejection from others. The greatest danger is rejecting yourself. If you bury your vision and silence your voice when you can see things or betray your own awareness, you'll suffer the quiet pain of living a false life. See? Because you were given something. Maybe through the fiery furnace of experiences, but you can see things. And if you give up that gift, you're not going to feel right. It's going to be like wearing a size 10 shoe and you got a size 12 foot. It's not going to feel right. And for the Black community, this betrayal can be very deadly. Too many of us already live within illusions handed to us by others. Did you hear what I said? Too many of us already live within illusions handed to us by others. We're still living like little boys and little girls. When our roles were formulated from very young and we carry this thing on into our older years. And if we lose a person that help us to fit in that role, we go and find somebody else. You know something? Say, for example, you have a sizable family and you have the oldest child and the mother's not around, or she's just not, she's there, she's providing, but everything is on that oldest daughter. And so for younger brothers and sisters, she has to cook and clean and guide them, look over them. So what you think is going to happen when they get older? She may not look over them. They might go on and go independent. When they come around her, they're going to get something because that's the role that she's used to being in. To say she moves away, far away from them, they're going to be mad because she was the safety net. Where are you going? You can't live your own life. You got to take care of us. But then your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, but they silently expect you to remain in that position and not have a life of your own. And you, who are used to that role, feel guilty when you cannot do for them and their offspring. Your role, as it's been passed down to you, is to be that one, to sacrifice your own life, your own happiness for others. And if you don't even have your family members who you were raised around to take care of, who are grown now, you're going to find people that you can give things to and be nice to them, and I'm going to nurture you. Who the hell elected you to be this person for everybody? And then you want to get bitter when you don't have your own happiness in your own life, because your own happiness is being subservient to somebody else's cause. It's nice to be nice, but don't crack open your backside to be used and be mad when somebody runs up in you and you say, I thought they were making love to me. No, you bent over, you spread them cheeks, and you gave it away for free. Sorry to be so lewd, but that's what it is. Then you take on somebody else in your life, and they're seeing the hustle of you, like, yo, I know those are your friends, but you got to do all of that for them. Now, see, when you get your mate who's used to being a giver like that, when you get them hip, them other friends ain't gonna like you because you cut the hustle. Damn, it was good using her, but then that Negro had to mess it up. You see what I mean? That's the way it is. It's really scary, but there's hope. The same isolation that wounds us can also make us strong. The same truth that divides us can one day unite us. What sets you apart today may become the very light that guides the community tomorrow. Not everybody. Everybody ain't gonna go for it. Broke my illusion. You can't be a friend to me. The danger of vision is real, but so is the destiny hidden within it. When you accept the responsibility to see, to speak, and to live authentically, you step into your true power. And that power is not just for you. It's for the survival and rise of your people. The question now is simple. Will you carry your vision with courage and not be afraid to speak what you see, even when others can't see it? The choice is yours, and your choice may be the spark that changes everything. But again, remember, we have to heal. We have to clean ourselves up. It's nice to jump in your car and drive, but if your windshield is dirty and you can't see in front of you, that's a recipe for disaster. Now, isn't it? And that's not good. It's not a good thing at all. And so this is why, for me, there's a lot of battles I can get into with people. And I was reminded that, you know what? That's only holding you back. It's other people's stuff. Go within yourself, clean off your windshield so you can see where you're going, and you can continue to see what's around you. The solo part of it, that really never bothered me. I was really built for this. Many of you are too. You know, the solitude and the lack of noise around me from entities that I don't know what their reasons were. I'm living a completely different life now, and I straight up love it. Peaceful, quiet. My thoughts are my own. I do what I want to do on how I feel. Because there was a part of me that would always give a lot away. Not expecting anything back, But after a while, I say, hey, I'm worn out. Who's there to lift me up? You see? So you have to budget your kindness, especially once you see it. Once you see who's around you using you on different levels. I'd rather give my kindness and energies to a stranger who I don't know, who might very well be rotten. But when I see a person's rotten, no, I'm running. And I ain't a runner. I'm not afraid to speak my mind, but running in the sense of, I'm not going to average down with those energies. How would I look hanging out with a gossip? What am I going to get from gossip? You know the kind of mentality you have to be a person, just bring information around? And then they get slick too, the gossips. They'll gain some righteous information, right? Oh, I have something righteous to say. And after that 5 minutes is gone, oh, did you hear what happened with this one? Did you hear what happened with that one? Oh, let me tell you what happened the other day. Oh my God. And they hate it when you know it. They hate it when you know it. They gotta feel icky, especially when you tell them. Now go gossip about that. And you don't give them anything more to run around with. They mad. They don't hardly see you. When they do, and they know you know the truth about certain things, you're not here to gossip, but you just know it. Like I said, it makes them feel very uncomfortable. See, folks will rewrite history and turn things around and say what they did and what they didn't do and all this stuff. And they know you know, and you quiet about it. Like, damn, it makes me feel uneasy. Is he gonna tell the truth? Nah. To see you squirm in your pants, squirm in your outfit is enough for me. Because you definitely can't have peace of mind. Let me tell you something. When you face yourself and see what others don't see and really face it and make a change from within, it's like sharpening a blade, your personal blade, and it will cut through life like a hot knife through butter. See, when the butter is cold, coming out the fridge, a little bar of butter, a little stick of butter, you take a knife, room temperature, try to cut through it, gives a little resistance. When you heat that knife up and it's hot, you touch the butter and the butter obeys and gets cut where you want it to without much force. That's how it is when you can see beyond the surface. And people know. Have you ever been in public? This has happened to me many times. You might be in a supermarket. You might be in a crowded area where there's a line that whips around a couple of times. And every time it whips around, you come face to face with this person. And quickly, not by chance maybe, but you happen to glance at them and you make eye contact. And it's a knowing. Like, you may not know this person's name or their address or their date of birth or whatever, but you just know there's a commonality with you and this person. That's a beautiful thing. It's not some romantic thing now, granted, because it could be same sex. Like, I can see a brother and you see him, you nod your head like you know this guy. You picked up his vibe and his aura. And if the opportunity presented itself, if you're somewhere like in a doctor's waiting room, waiting to be called, and you're there, you know how that could be boring. And you start talking and you realize you don't even have to start the preliminary small talk. You get right deep into a subject to the point where in the conversation, the person say, hey brother, listen, we got to switch numbers, man, because people like you are not really, common. Got to finish this conversation. There are many women that I've talked to that I didn't know at all. And they knew that I was not trying to hit on them, but we had such a conversation that we had to stay in contact to the point where when they found out that I do stuff online and do interviews and stuff, they've come on. I'm not going to say it's a complete kindred spirit, but a commonality, that awareness that you have. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Now, let me tell you something. It works on other levels too also. Demons, let's just say it that way. Demonically possessed people, right? Negative people, do-nothings, bitter people. They clan up together too. They see it in each other. And their stuff might be common, but they see it in each other. How else do you explain when you drive down maybe a downtrodden neighborhood where there's a lot of unemployment, a lot of dilapidated structures, a lot of youngsters that are not really motivated to do anything positive, and you pass by that liquor store and you see these men, 50s, 60s, 70s, all grouped up day after day after day. They're alcoholics and they're not about anything. And they feel very comfortable around each other. This is how that happens. Hey, birds of a feather flock together. I don't flock around too many people. That brought me a lot of resentment when I moved out to God. I'm not flocking around just to say, just to whatever. When I see it, y'all go, y'all hang out. I don't want to be bothered. Like I said, I grew up, my brother was always gone, doing what he does, 11 years older than me. So I was 10 years old. How are you going to expect a 21-year-old to hang out with a 10-year-old? And we had different fathers. So I'm really technically an only child, but I grew up with my own room, my own space, my own privacy. There's certain things I didn't have to deal with that larger families, and children had to contend with. So when I was in my room doing my homework, complete solitude. If my mother came to the door to my room, she'd knock. She'd give me that respect. So I'm not used to having my privacy violated. See, so me now, this is what I'm used to my whole life. Me sitting here in my studio, thinking, talking, creating this type of content, whether I'm writing something or whatever, this is joy for me. This is a lineage. This is nothing new to me. This is why I can just do this for hours and hours and take joy in it. Right? So this is my lineage. And so I've noticed, especially one who I can be very cutting with certain truth. And again, I'm not some guru who knows everything. I'm just saying that I'm that guy that I see stuff for what it is. You see groups of people, we're not going to have Lance around us. We're going to isolate them. You can't isolate me because I am my own party. I don't cry if you don't invite me to your little toxic, your toxic gathering. I'm good. I wasn't coming anyway. I make my own parties. Whether it's me alone or a handful of people in the inner circle, but I don't need it. Because when left alone, I produce. Because I'm always looking inward. And I enjoy that solitude. It's very empowering. When I listen to music these days, it's the same like older music that I listened to back in the late 60s, 70s, 80s, but especially the 70s. There's some songs that I play that take me back, but it's not about escaping the present. It's like going to the shop with your car and getting a tune-up. You come out better. I played some songs today on YouTube, threw my phone into my earpieces. I was in a different world. The soil was turned over and things are now so fresh and ready to grow. I became so motivated because I reconnected with my past in a way that it's like I was talking to my old self. For the dreams that I had, I didn't know about social media and online stuff back then, no, but the core creator that I am from within. To know that you will create in solitude. You're not going to create in groups of people who have all these different mindsets tugging on you. Yeah, if you're a team that has a single-minded purpose, that's a different thing. So to be away from what most people feel that you have to do. Well, it's the weekend, I have to go to the bar. It's the weekend, I have to go to the club. I have to go to the social club. And sit around with these disjointed people who haven't looked within to heal and reset the bones that were broken and set them the right way. Because when you reset bones, it takes a little while. On a spiritual level, on an emotional level, on a mental level, bones will probably heal faster than those other levels. And remember, like I said, spiritual, emotional, and mental. Other than the physical. Those things and the combinations of it. To hell with a Rubik's Cube, you figure that out easy. Most people are their own Rubik's Cube and they can't even figure their own selves out, and they expect you to heal them. And you'd be a fool to try to come around and be this person to want to heal everybody. Do you know how tangled up most of these people are? And confused? I'm not putting anybody down. I got my own things to untangle. I think I'm doing a really good job at it. But some people just throw down their old yarn and don't want to untangle that ball of yarn that they have that has become their life. And so imagine, it's not just, oh, it's a foot. When you go to the doctor, foot doctor, something wrong with your foot. Or go to a doctor, something's wrong. Oh, it's your foot. That's Western medicine. The real way is, when something's wrong with you physically, there's a mental, emotional, and spiritual side that needs to be aligned also. Western medicine gets it wrong. They fix the one thing, the one plane, and think that's going to be all right. See? So we got to figure ourselves out. So you meet a new friend or somebody you think is a friend, or you see a gorgeous body. You're a man looking at this woman. Oh my gosh, she's good. Oh, she's so much. She's perfect. How do you know? You hot in the pants and you looking at her ass and oh, she's perfect. She ain't perfect. You horny. You're full of lust. Get to know her. I'm not putting the woman down, but she may have them issues. Not just one thing, and now you want to become Mr. Fix-It just to get in them drawers. Or some of you women, you want to get that man, so you think you can change him, but he's not looking to change and evolve and untangle the knots that he has inside of himself. I'm not saying we all got major problems, but we've all endured some trauma. We all have some sore spots. You ever like cut yourself on your leg or bang into or bang a part of your leg real hard? And somebody comes in the crowd and bumps in, ooh, and it hurts. They didn't know, but it hurts. Most of us, honestly, from what I see, and I've said this before, most of us are trying to appear to be as normal as we can from what we see around us to fit in, to covertly pass ourselves off as being healed, than actually doing the work to become healed. And it doesn't take me long to figure out what's around me. And that's what's got me into trouble, because I pretty much have figured out and can read a person like a cheap-ass dime store novel. Quick! And when you get those coordinates of this person, you can fill in, like algebra, what the issue is. If I say 2 plus blank equals 10, the 2 and the 10 have given you enough to solve the problem that what's blank is the number 8. 2 plus 8 is 10. You take what you see, you take what's available, you take even the extra coordinates that you get, and you can figure this person who is a puzzle compared like to a Rubik's Cube. You can figure it out. You say, okay, this person's been violated when they were younger. Or this person wasn't really shown that much love. Or this person was ridiculed when they were younger. I see little pictures of them when they were in single digit ages and they were quite chubby. So now that this young lady is getting this attention from, she lost weight, she looks good, but she still sees herself as that chubby little kid. And that's what's helping her to make her promiscuous, because she still feels insecure and she gives away her love. It's not always that, but these are the kind of things that they go through in my head. I never realized how many times I pissed people off by speaking about my great relationship with my parents, my mother and my father. But when I speak about my father and how much he taught me and how much he put into me, many, not all, but many grown men don't like that who did not have a father. So they have to feign or fake true rooted masculinity because they didn't really have a template from which to draw from, unless sometimes we get the wrong influences when you don't have a male figure, a father around the house. Well, the aggressions of gangs become appealing to you because you want to be a man. You got testosterone. You want to find a way to direct it. So the gang leaders or the neighborhood toughs, or that's why many of us in the inner city latch on when we don't have it one way, we'll get it the other. The young girls who felt abandoned by their fathers, well, they'll do anything to get the male energy and attention. So, they're sucking off these boys and giving them sex and all these things just to feel, I'm sorry to be lewd, but just to be saturated and wrapped in an incomplete feel of manhood because they don't know the full thing. And we're like chemicals as people, and this is why I like to figure it out. And this is why I like to figure myself out. With the help of my life coach, Customato, my dear sister, I always shout her out. She dug deep into things that I wasn't aware affected me. I'm like, wow. We played algebra with my life completely and filled in some blanks. And it's little things that need adjusting. But I was open to accept it because she saw, and she's a seer. And I know as much as I see things, she sees that much more. So little things I've seen that people rejected, I'm not going to repeat the same thing and reject her. No, she's helping me. Give it to me hard. Don't sound that sounded queer. Give me the truth hard, y'all. Don't, well, he may get insulted. No, I cannot get insulted when I take my high-level sports car off of the track of life into the pit stop and you're there to make my car well again. You see what I mean? So we got to stop hiding from the truth by covering ourselves up with lies and stop being afraid to see it. You'll be so much better. You'll see so much better and you'll be able to extract a better life. Instead of living this script of what was handed to you. This is why it's a joy to be alone from people who have so much work that they don't want to deal with, but they want to dump it on you. They're afraid, but they see you're not. So now you're a problem because you're winning. Oh, they're working their jobs or doing what they have to do on the surface level, but it scares them when you can be open with yourself and conquer yourself. And as they say symbolically, it doesn't mean suicide, but to slay your ego and to slay yourself. You slay yourself, you will come back better. It's just like pruning trees and bushes in your yard. They grow healthy and fuller when you trim off the dead leaves. The question is, how many of us are courageous enough to look within? And this is why social media on so many negative levels is a very popular thing. because many people gravitate toward the negative content, the gossip and the stars and who's not doing well and who's sleeping with who, all this stuff, because it makes us not feel bad in the decadence that we indulge in or the bad thoughts that we have. I take all that off my radar. I'm so busy creating, I ain't got time to think about, oh, in the past, this person did this to me. You make adjustments and you keep on. Like a fighter who didn't do as good in the round before, he figured it out, made adjustments, and comes to dominate the next few rounds and wins the fight. Every fight that you're in, you're gonna catch a blow, you're gonna get a mark, you might even get knocked down for a couple of years, a couple of rounds. Doesn't mean you can't win the fight. Learn from those times when you were knocked down and come back even stronger, right? Like Mike Tyson used to say, how dare they challenge me with their primitive skills? You know what I mean? It don't work that way. Anyway, I think I babbled enough for now, and looking forward to hearing your feedback on this. I was all over the place. You know, I was gonna do a live show, but I was a little too tired. That way, let me just talk. My eyes are tired. My eyes saw a lot today. I saw a lot of interaction between people and downloaded spirits and saw things, and I'm full. So I'm going to completely stay in, rest, straighten up the studio, and get into some good content. If you like these little rambles and rants, let me know. I'll continue them. If you want me to rant on something, tell me what you want me to rant about. I don't care what it is. I challenge you. I'll talk about anything. You pick the topic. I'll do it. Anyway, let me just say, I'm on to the next one. Lancescurv out. Much love. Thank you very much for being here with me. And I'm loving the comments. I'm going to have to answer back a few more. And let's challenge each other. Let's dig deeper. There's a lot of stuff that's not going to help us out here. I challenge everybody, including myself, to peel back the layers and see the real. So we don't have to carry this burden of a fake mask or an exoskeleton, an outward skeleton, an outward, get rid of the trauma, clean house. It's such a good feeling. But you can look things square in the eye and see them for what it is. Just like the title says, truth comes only once the shadows of denial are faced. The danger and power of seeing what others do not, and in actuality, what others refuse to see. All right? Hit me back. Lancescurv out. Peace.